All right, baby, we did it. We made it. It is Saturday. UFC 317 is going down tonight. I'm so excited for this. I watched PFL last night. That was depressing. And I know I shouldn't have done this, but it pops up on my feed no matter where I go. I saw some shit about Power Slap, and I just popped into the YouTube live stream. 51,000 people were watching that. 51,000. That's too many people. So when we get something good, other than a lot of Mick fights, the McDonald's drive-through fights that UFC's been putting on, or we watch PFL, cards like this are really nice because it's actually really good from top to bottom, and I like that. Have to wait till International Fight Week for it, but nonetheless, here we are. Let's start with Payton Talbott versus Felipe Lima. What are they doing to Payton? I don't know, man, but Lima's got to be happy about this. He has a whole blueprint to work with here on how to beat Payton. Payton's a big guy, though. I think he'll make some good corrections here. I'm kind of going, I have this overall theme with this fight card, like who has more tools in their arsenal. It's going to be Lima. He can wrestle here. If it's close on the feet, he can probably get some control time, some takedowns, just to secure a round. I do think it goes to a decision. I think the odds are right here. I think Payton has a really good chance of winning. It's just that we need to learn a little bit more about Payton. How is he going to look? This is a good matchup. It's kind of weird as prospect versus prospect, but what are you going to do? I'm going to lean with Lima here. I'm picking him by decision. I think the wrestling is just another tool in his arsenal to kind of get this done. Okay, we got Moicano and Beneil Dariush, and I'm picking Benny to win. I'm picking him by decision. I think it's going to be a close fight. I think it's going to be for as long as I think it does go to decision, but I think it's going to be action-packed for sure. I just think Benny's the better overall fighter here. I think he defends any takedown that happens. He's good enough to get out of most positions that Renato might be able to put him in, and I think he's a better overall striker. Can Renato knock him out? Yeah, he can. Maybe that happens. But, I mean, I just got to go with Benny. I think he wins this fight. Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van, guys. I have flipped back and forth on this fight so much, and I am just going to end up landing on Joshua Van, I think. There's still hours here before the fight card starts, so I might flip back to Royval. But, because when I think about who has more tools here, it's Royval. You would think so, but Joshua Van's just so fundamentally sound, and I think what actually is the difference maker here is probably damage, probably knockdowns. And I also wonder, like, Brandon's been in 3 5-round fights back to back here. Is he going to have that urgency to try to win 3 rounds? What can he do to try to win 3 rounds? Because if they're both fresh early, I'm not so sure that Brandon's going to be able to create that chaos needed in order to win the first round, to get a takedown. But he's scrappy. He's a southpaw too, so he's going to find his opportunities. Joshua Van's just looks so good, but he just hasn't had the camp really here. His back-to-back fights, that might come to bite him. So I feel like Brandon Royval can get a decision. He can win a couple of rounds, right? I don't know. I'm going with Joshua Van. I think damage is going to be the difference here. I think he gets some knockdowns, and I kind of want to go with KO, but I'm going to roll with a decision on this one too. It's going to be good fights, though. All right, for the co-main event, we got Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France. Ooh. This is an interesting fight because when Kai talks about this fight, basically what he's saying is, I'm going to be in your face for the entirety of the fight. Of course, we know Kai is looking for that one-punch knockout, but he's also very aware that might not happen. So what is going to happen, he thinks, is that over the course of these 5 rounds, Pantoja, with his output and his volume and his pressure style, he's going to eventually tire out. He's going to make mistakes, and that's when Kai is going to change the trajectory of how the fight goes. So in my mind, it seems like, you know, if Kai can just stay patient, he defends those takedowns. He, in the chaos of these striking exchanges, he lands his shots. There's nothing that Pantoja is going to be able to do. Yeah, he might win around here, might win around there, but once it hits 3, 4, and 5, he's going to take over the fight, if not outright win by knockout. Kai has said, I think I'm going to be able to knock him out. I think I'm going to be able to do it, but he's going to eventually get sloppy, and I'm going to take over for that. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, Pantoja does get a little bit sloppy. He does take a lot of shots. But the difference is that he hasn't been knocked out and he hasn't been dropped in that way. I don't know if Kai's going to be able to do that. Like, what happens if he doesn't? Is he going to be able to defend every takedown? Even if he does, how much time is going to be spent with his back to the fence, defending, trying to work out of situations? We could talk about bad judging and everything too, but when you think about optics, sometimes that's all it takes is the person just pushing you up against the fence and you having to work and defend. Like, is there any damage in those exchanges up against the cage? I don't know, maybe not. But still, it doesn't look good for you if you are the one with your back to the fence and you're trying to get out. Or if Pantoja gets the back and you got a backpack on. That doesn't look good. I think for that reason alone, just the tools in his arsenal to be able to win rounds, I think he's going to win the fight, and I think he gets it done by decision. And I think rounds 1, 2, and 3, like, he's competent enough on the feet, and his striking's gotten a lot better, and his combinations are okay. He still runs into punches, but until that chin completely goes, I think he still does competitive enough on the feet, just like they did in the first fight, just to win these rounds. Maybe gets a submission, but I'm going to go with Pantoja by a decision. I'm excited for this fight, man. I'm so excited for this fight. All right, Ilia Topuria versus Chucky Olives. Oh, man. So when Ilia fought Holloway, there was this haunting feeling that Ilia's going to knock out Holloway. And I didn't really want to, even though I wrote it down in my notes and I felt pretty strong about that might happen, I still did not go with that because I just love Holloway and I did not want to see him get knocked out. And there was a lot of ways for Holloway to make sure that doesn't happen, but it just seemed inevitable that eventually his back would be against the cage and he's going to get hit with something. And I kind of feel the same way about this. I still think we've seen Topuria get dropped, and it wasn't just in the UFC. It was also on the regional scene. So that exists. And it was by head kick, I think, both times. Chucky can do that. He absolutely can do that. Is it likely that he does that? I think it'd be crazy if he didn't try to set it up. Maintaining that distance is going to be difficult, I feel like, trying to stay in kicking range. It's one of those things where he's got to be all the way in or all the way out. Now, all the way in, I think Topuria has a lot of opportunities to land bombs to the body. And all the way out, I mean, it just seems like inevitably Chucky's back will be to the fence if he stays all the way out. A situation where Chucky drops Ilia and pounces on top of him, that's not a situation we want to see Ilia in, because Ilia should be able to defend submissions and takedowns and everything like that. But if he gets dropped, that's where it's like, okay. And if Chucky can definitely do that. But I just think overall, Ilya's going to be able to nullify most positions, including in the clinch. And I think eventually, round 3, Topuria gets a knockout here. And although Chucky looked really good in his fight against Chandler and he showed some improvements and he was able to overall stay out of too much danger of Chandler's, what do I say, like his boxing, his wild hooks. It's still, I chose Chucky to win that fight by round 1 submission. Maybe that was naive of me, but I think I don't know why. I feel like he really could have just tapped out Chandler, but that didn't happen. So part of me feels like that's swaying some of my decision making here too. But I think overall, where Topuria needs to get to win this fight, I think he's going to have to walk through some fire for sure. He's tall, he's long. I think Chucky's going to be landing some shots, not only with his hands, but, with his kicks, knee stomps, inside body kicks. I think he can set up an opportunity where he lands his head kicks too. We'll see. I think it's going to be close for at least a couple of rounds here, but I think eventually Topuria gets to him and he knocks him out. That's my official pick. I don't know. I'm so excited for this fight. Anything can happen here. Both guys have been dropped before, and he's moving up a weight class. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, and for the rest of the card, I chose Hobocop over Hermanson. I'm picking Delgado. I'm picking Cortez. I got McKinney, Denise, and then Smith. So that's all my picks. I don't know how I feel about any of these picks. But I hope you guys enjoy the fights. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. and we'll see you in the next one.
Eyes on, eyes on. I missed. Stay in the 80s first. Try to get a nice. Different?